This morning, as we turn to the book of Job, pray for me. I want to talk to those that feel like Brother Fagan does, that are in what we call the process. Where you are, son. Want them to keep to understand that what we're going through is a process, because just because you are with God does not mean that you're exempt from troubles. The fact of the matter, I know some of us now, we become holier than thou. And forgive us for that, amen. But some of us have gotten to a place now where we've been in church so long to where now we're so holy that we forget that where we come from. But every now and then you got to remember where God brought you from. And if you don't remember, God will send a reminder to you, because you ain't all that and a bag of chips. Fact of the matter, you ain't always been saved. And can I be honest with you? All of us ain't always had all this white on either. Amen. This was not your color. I don't care if it was first, second, third, or fourth Sunday. But thanks be unto God, He has groomed us to now we wear what we are asked to wear, or to what His liking for us to wear. In other words, it took a process. But here in the second chapter of Job, I want to read it for your hearing, because if you don't, you probably won't go home and read it. And so let me just get where I am. The second chapter, starting with the first verse, says, "Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan," somebody says Satan, "came along among them and presented himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there's none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that fears God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast to his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin. Yea, all that a man has will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is thine hand, but save his life. Behold, he is thy hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore bores from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And here we go. And he took his potsherd to scrape himself withal, and sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou retain thou integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all of this, did not Job sin with his lips? Touch your neighbor, say, neighbor, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Neighbor, the preacher needs your help.
The preacher needs your help.
He wants to preach.
He wants to preach.
I want to cuss,
I want to cuss,
but I can't.
but I can't.
God bless you in the name of Jesus. You may be seated. I want to cuss, but I can't. Has anybody ever felt that way? Don't you put your hands up. Has anybody ever felt that? God bless you, ushers. Thank you so much for your faithful servants. Is there anybody in here that has ever been in a place or a time where you just wanted to let people know how you really felt? And even when evil had gotten on the inside of you, your character, your integrity, your manhood, your womanhood, in other words, sometimes God will have let people interfere and get on the inside, and they played you like a fool. But because he's on the inside, you can't say what you wanted to say. You can't do what you really want to do. You can't go where you really want to go. You can't go off. You cannot throw in the towel. You cannot cuss. You cannot fuss. Why? Because God has been too good. Is there anybody here that know God is a way maker? That even if I threw in the towel, if I felt like it, even if I given up, even if I just said I'm just done with it, God still yet has so much glory that he has done for me that I can't do nothing but lift up my hands and say, God, you got a sense of humor. Every now and then we fall into what we call the pitfall. And when you fall in a pitfall, it's a tragedy feeling, because what happens is it seems like you're all by yourself. You know how it is when you lend people money, but when it's time for you to get some, ain't nobody there to return. Oh, I ain't got no help. You know, when you make phone calls, you can encourage everybody else, but when you need an encouraging word, there's nobody around to encourage you. You know what it means to when you love everybody else. All I want is a piece of love, and I can't get it from nowhere. God, you're just not fair. All right. So even when it seems like God is not fair, it seems like evil is always on the other side. But look at the text. The text shows us that Satan wanted somebody, but he suggested Job. I just want to ask you a question. Can God suggest you at any point of time? Can God call your name and say, even through the adversity that you might have to go through, guess what? He gonna stand the test of time. Even if I have to put him in the fiery furnace, guess what? She's gonna come out all right. Even if I gotta put hell up against the wall, she's gonna make it all right. Can God suggest anybody in here? Oh, I must be preaching because you're quiet. Because if the truth be told, some of us he cannot suggest. Because if the truth be told, if some of us he put us in a bad predicament, some of us are going to go off. We're going to pop the charge. We're going to remember where we've been. We're going to remember who we used to be. You know what they say? I'm going to put down and lay down my religion. If you got to lay it down, you never had it in the first place. Some of us got to understand that popping off at the mouth ought not be ordinary no more when you're walking with God. Cussing folk out not ought to be just everyday language no more when you're walking with the Lord. Going off and setting people up and doing that kind of foolishness ought not be the same as last year if you're walking with God. So the first thing I just wanted to ask, can he choose you? Because your mouth's still raggedy, you need to understand your walk is not as hefty as you thought it was. And see, that's some of our problem. We think that our walk is really with God. No, we just walking with church folk. Y'all ain't saying that. See, a difference with walking with church folk, meaning that we all are in a process. We all are coming together. But everybody that's at church ain't in church. Preach, folks. There's some folk that are in church, but guess what? When they leave here, they still gonna fire it up. Amen. They still gonna drink it up. They still gonna do their thing because it has not become real yet. But baby, when God gets on the inside of you, it becomes real. And there's some things you can't do no more. There's some things you don't want to do no more. That's something I ain't talking about because the doctor said. I'm talking about because Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men. That's just some stuff I can't do no more because I'm trying to get closer to my God. So here in the text, Job has been picked out to be picked on. And not only was he picked out to be picked on, but look at him. He goes through the wilderness. He goes through ups and downs. He goes through, Job had everything. Job had any and everything he wanted, but yet Satan had to try him. Now watch this. How many of you been tried today? Some of y'all got tried this morning and they won't even give God credit. Some of us are tried on every hand. We are tried on, it was Job that said, though he slay me, yet will I. Job said, it does not matter what I got to go through. It does not. See, when we get to a level of expectancy that for God I live and for God I die, it does not matter. I'm not going to let her get the best of me. I'm not going to let him get me out of my character. I'm not going to let them get me to a place where I got to cuss every day. You do know people can get you out of your character. And really, I want to rephrase that because people really can't do nothing, but they can edge you on. Because can't nobody make you do nothing, but that all of us have a sensitive side to us. As a matter of fact, all of us got what we call a do not push button. And if you should happen to push that button at the right time at the wrong place, oh, y'all ain't helping me. I wish y'all tell on yourself this morning. When you happen to push that button, you don't. Matter of fact, sometimes you don't even know what's going to come out your mouth.
All right.
The problem is we ought to get rid of the do not push.
That's right.
Because when you get rid of the do not push, guess what? You have a do not disturb. And when you have a real praise, you can't disturb me because I'm praising God. See, some things become irrelevant to you because guess what? My mind can't focus on that silliness because my mind is stayed on Jesus. I can't focus on the hellishness that you. Matter of fact, you ought not even be calling me. Stop answering every phone call that comes. Y'all ain't saying it like y'all ain't got caller ID. You didn't have to answer that call. Preach, Foster. Sometimes we answer the call because we want to act up. Oh, I'm in somebody's house. Sometimes we answer the call because we want to go off. Sometimes we answer the call because we know it's a setup. And guess what? You just wanted to go ahead and set yourself up that day. But baby, when you get in the hand of God and understand for God I live and for God I die, there's nothing else but understanding if the Lord said it. So here, as we move further in the text goes and says, behold thine hand, but save his life. In other words, God is trying to get us to understand that even though you are on his side, Satan has the ability and God has the evidence to understand and to get Satan to understand that he needs for Satan to help and set you up at times. What are you saying, preacher? I'm saying, guess what? Even though the devil comes and knocks on your door, understand, God understands and knows when he's coming. And you need to expect the enemy to come to your camp every now and then. In other words, how do you grow if you don't have an enemy experience? How do you get on an elevator if the elevator don't sometimes work? That's why sometimes, and have you ever noticed that when you got an elevator, you got a set of stairs? Because every now and then the elevator must go out so you can take the long way up. But why is that? Sometimes it's the easy way that we be taking, but God said, no, I need you to go up 20 flights. And it takes time because that's the process. Is when you go up the stairs. It's easy to catch an elevator. But when you catch an elevator, there's a booster, what we call the picker upper. God will boost you up to the next level. But when you take the stairs, you're taking them one by one. And every now and then you need to understand the enemy can come. Just because you go to church does not mean that the enemy will not come to your house. Just because you come to church does not mean that the enemy will not get in your tithe. Just because you go to church don't mean that your house is not going to be robbed. Just because you go to church does not mean that folk will not treat you any kind of way. Just because you're a preacher does not mean everybody likes you.
right there, Pastor. Stay right there.
We get twisted.
Come on now.
Because you give somebody $5, who thank you? No, they thank you for the $5, not for the person that gave it. And then when you ask for your money back, the reason why you got such a hard time is because they didn't like you in the first place. They wanted what they wanted. People only want what they can get out of you. And when they get all that they can get, guess what? Bye-bye. Oh, I ain't got no help up in here. It's just like a soda machine. Have you ever been thirsty enough and you put your last dollar in that Coke in that machine? I'm talking about you were thirsty. You knew that Coke was going to quench your thirst. Matter of fact, you knew whether it was Sprite. Well, it didn't matter what the flavor was, but all I had was $1, and I've been tired. I've been outside all day. I've been working on trees. Whatever you do, have you ever just wanted what you wanted and you put your last dollar in there only to find out it was out of service?
All right. That's right.
Some of y'all are out of service and won't even put a sign on yourself. Just say out of order. And the problem is I gave you my last dollar and all you had to do was tell me I would have went to the next store instead of giving you my last. But because you didn't want to say out of order. Here's what Jesus was telling Job. Guess what? That's some stuff that's going to be out of order. But here's the revelation. God said, I ain't got to tell you when it's going to be out of order. That's just understand when it's out of order. Learn how to deal with stuff that is not in order. Learn how to deal with false advertisement. Learn how to deal with stuff that's not coming for you. Learn how to deal with things that are not in your view. Learn how to deal with uncomfortable situations. Because just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean that God don't love you. I'm preaching now. Just because it don't feel good does not mean God does not love you. Just because you're in a situation, and I know what you're saying, has anybody in the house been there before? That you've been in something and you feel like, God, I'm doing the best that I can. I ought to get the results that I want. I'm giving in this, I'm giving in that. And God, where you at? Show up. I need some real folks in there. And God said, it ain't about you. My timing is sufficient. We call it my grace. But God said, it's not really my timing. I come when I get ready to come. And my big mama said, he always on time. But it's not about him being on time. It's about, are you ready to handle the struggle? And so Job was going through trying to figure out, God, how is it that if I'm an uprighteous man, you said it in your word. Here's the text, y'all. Y'all saw it for yourself. I ain't got no notes. This is between me and God. God, you said it here. You said Job an uprighteous man. You said Job was a man with integrity. You said Job was the one. Is anybody in here that got integrity? Is there anybody here that's uprighteous? Is there anybody here that loved the Lord like Job loved the Lord? And yet Job said, why are you afflicting me with these pains that I have? Here's what's worse. Not only just to be afflicted, but then his wife. I'm almost done. Y'all ain't gonna pray with me. It's all right. I love it because that means I'm preaching. Matter of fact, every Sunday you ought not be hollering and saying amen. You ought to say ouch every now and then. Then said his wife, Job, you've been going to church every Sunday. You've been tithing. You've been giving. You've been going to Bible study. You've been doing garage sales for the preacher. You've been doing all this stuff. And you mean to tell me God won't cover you and he won't have your back? In fact of the matter, we almost lost our house. The repo man came by twice. We've hidden the cars. We've done all this stuff. And you keep hollering and getting on your knees talking about God is good all the time. And all the time God is good. Job, you mean to tell me the same man that you keep talking about, you bless the name of Jesus, you mean to tell me he won't cover you at no cost? He won't come to your rescue? It seems like every now and then, Job, you just got laid off, and when you got laid off, you mean that same God that you kept pouring into that church, the same God that you came home and told me we got to follow, the same God that you told me that we got to love, the same God that you told the children obey, the same God that you pray with us every morning and every night, the same God that you say will supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory, the same God that gives us the supplier that you say he wakes me up every morning, the same God that you said in the scripture, no weapon shall that formed against me shall prosper. You mean to tell me the same God that you told me that was going to make a way out of no way, the same God that you told me will turn midnights into day? Job, are you telling me the same God that you keep getting on your knees and getting up at 6 o'clock on a prayer line and praying with folk that you don't even know? Job, you mean to tell me the same God that you keep telling me about, and yet he won't cover you? Curse him and die. Now, which one is worse? Talking about my Lord, or my woman talking about my Lord? Oh, that's tough speed. That's all right. I got time to wait. Which one is worse? You criticize because of what you're doing at the church. You being criticized because you're giving God your 110%, and yet because you're doing it, it does not look. I wish I had help. It does not look to be the picture that we want to see, because we only want to see it in real time. We go to work only because in 2 weeks we're going to get a check. But let 2 weeks come around and no check. Will we still trust God? Y'all ain't saying it. Y'all be done cussed up in there. Y'all ain't saying nothing. No, they ain't getting your check in 2 weeks. Huh? Will you cuss? Then you'll cuss.